excuse. Most of us raised, rightfully so, our expectations of what Ngannou could. Wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Wow. Saudi Arabia, heavyweight boxing, Ngannou versus Joshua. And boom, went the former UFC heavyweight champion from the absolute dynamite of AJ. I'm Brian Campbell of Morning Combat, here to break it down. Welcome into the post-fight analysis show. That was vicious. That was violent. That was unexpected, obviously, in some ways, in the totality of the one-sided nature. For all the thoughts we had coming into this about whether this was about Francis Ngannou's story and how much of that performance last October and a disputed split decision loss to Tyson Fury, Fury being overweight was, magic, was an aberration, was excuse. Most of us raised, rightfully so, our expectations of what Ngannou could do against Joshua, but styles do make fights. Can't look away from that being a very high Fury last fall. Anthony Joshua, when he acts like that, when he behaves like that, when he speaks like that, when he thinks like that, when he makes ice cold killer looks like that without celebrating after delivering the boom, we quickly realized it was the wrong guy on the wrong night, and that extremely large gap in true experience and form and technique, which Ngannou was able to, I don't want to say fudge, but not expose himself against Fury because he was limiting himself to just one punch at a time. Again, would ultimately cost him on the scorecards. This is just a different fight against a different fighter who was more dangerous when he dialed in, and that's Anthony Joshua. A lot to sort out here in a fight that didn't even last 2 full rounds. It's hard to ignore so much of the unknown now moving forward for Francis Ngannou. This is AJ's story. That's what ultimately this fight was about, and it's, I'm not going to meme Ngannou. I'm not going to laugh at him. I mean, that was violent, and I think for a little bit we were all sort of, praying that he was going to be okay, and he ultimately gave him oxygen, and he came back under and stood on his own power. But, I don't even want to do what a lot of boxing folks are doing, fighters, fans, media, and saying, that was for boxing. No, I mean, what Ngannou did against Fury changed us in a lot of ways. Not just our expectations or the respect we had for him. Ngannou's a tough out. You're not going to know that by the way this fight went. And I do think the key technical error going to that switching stance to southpaw was something he did a ton in MMA. Either, obviously, if your defense isn't up to snuff with your offhand, you can leave that open. And boy, did he ever since that first round right cross, which exposed his inexperience in that stance landed. Boy, was it downhill quick for Ngannou. But before that happened, I think you can make the argument that he actually looked better this time around. He had better success, but I mean, physically, he's always a brick shithouse, as they used to say in my hometown. But he was just at next level. I mean, he looked like a tank out there. Did you see his back muscles? I mean, it was just absolutely ridiculous. And I think he really, in that 6-month gap since the fight in October, I think he really stepped up his game. Now, it's hard to make that statement when you see him get ultimately splattered in such debilitating ways, shocking ways, given his history of chin and recuperativeness and inspiration and all of that. But I mean, these were clean shots off of technical errors that no one's going to withstand. No one's going to get up from. I mean, he got up twice. So ever since the first knockdown, I think it did shake him enough where even though he was able to regroup, it didn't look like he was on spaghetti legs. He wasn't able to regain any form of control. I actually thought he was winning the first round up until that knockdown happened. Not overly impressive, but jabbing to the body. Nice counter left hooks every time AJ tried to jab to the body himself and get his head down to his right. Those little counter left hooks were there. Shows you a nice wrinkle and improvement. But there was a confidence in Ngannou that I thought the announce team, Todd Grisham leading that all-star cast of Big Jim Marker, Big British Heroes in there, in saying that, was it too confident? Was it too confident? Well, look, Tyson Fury, you don't want to say he doesn't have big time power. That used to be the reputation of him, but I think since hooking up with Sugar Hill Stewart, his new trainer, and really sitting down on punches, being the bigger fighter, I always say Tyson Fury's fight with Ali Valeen, where he had that vicious cut. Heavyweight title was hanging in the balance in the future fights that he was going to have. I think he learned that night how to be 6'9" and lean and lean into your shots and be powerful. And he's turned himself around. We saw that in the second and third round fight. Because being a big puncher. I mean, if you're 6'9" and you're athletic and you're quick like he is, and you step into it, you can lay somebody out. But he does not or never had the type of power where people go flying. Beautiful knockout of that he had on that uppercut inside. But AJ has real ridiculous power, and he's always had. He's always been an incredible finisher with both hands. His uppercut has been Lennox Lewis-like, and I don't think that's hyperbole. It's just that it's a disconnect. It started in the first loss to Andy Ruiz, the first loss of his career back in 2019 in MSG. And he never really put Humpty Dumpty back together again. You know, the two Usyk losses, the south down after the second fight. I didn't think he'd ever be this guy again. The guy he was against Otto Wallin in December a few months ago, and then the guy he ultimately was here. But like I said off the top, all the talk that this is going to be Ngannou's story, now we got to figure out if Ngannou's story should continue, in boxing or MMA and combat in general. What will be the long-term physical and psychological damage of a knockout this vicious, this extreme? Dang. I mean, let me catch my breath there. Dang. It felt like a heat check moment, when you're playing NBA Jam, and it doesn't even matter if you're using true all-stars or some of those bootleg guys they had on. Remember that time Mavericks had Mike Isolino, that little white shooting guard from St. Francis College, and he made the NBA Jam game, but even if he gets on fire, it's nothing but nylon. It's just going to explode into flames. But inevitably, for the long, elongated basketball reference, you got to throw one up from about 30 feet to check if it's real, to check if it's going to last. Whatever magic Ngannou had against Fury, through Fury being unfocused, through that beautiful counter left hand that was delivered beautifully, and I thought David Hay, in the lead up to this fight on the DAZN broadcast, really spelled out perfectly why Ngannou was dangerous from a technical standpoint in such short time transitioning to this sport. How he was able to turn his punches over and be that powerful. But Styles made fights, and once those mistakes kicked in, and once she realized that the demeanor Tyson Fury seemed to have brought in there in October wasn't as serious as it needed to be. There was pressure on him of will something happen in this fight, a cut, a loss that could ruin his eventual unified super clash, undisputed with Alexander Usyk, which was supposed to be just a few months later, and then we know what happened with the cut to Fury and the late in May. But the demeanor of Tyson Fury once he got dropped in round 3 was survive in advance. It was, let's almost curl up into a shell, soft jab from the outside and just, clinch and get out of trouble. The intentions that AJ brought in were of a Stone Cold Killer. And I think in hindsight you can say, look, did he I don't want to say overvalue the thing of Ngannou, but I think we came in here with the idea that even with AJ being a puncher, the best bet would be over that this would go the distance. I believe that. I believe that, not that Ngannou couldn't be knocked out, but we saw the beating he took for 4 rounds in the first Stipe fight. We saw, we've seen him get tagged and just shake it off like nothing, like that lead over to Tyson Fury in October. That was illegal and almost seemed to be purposely thrown at all. And like I mentioned, like Tyson Fury slaps you when he steps into the punches like big, but he's human after all. And when you give openings and make mistakes to somebody like AJ, who can box. AJ can outbox pretty much every heavyweight not named Usyk or Fury. Can outbox. He's got those skills. They just weren't super elite, where I think when you add in the knockout loss to Ruiz, and then the fact that I think he just thought, well, when I fight Usyk now, I'm going to be the better fighter. I'm going to be the better fighter and outbox him, and it just didn't realize the true skill across from him and the need for him to turn into a different fighter in that moment, to be physical and lean on the smaller heavyweight Usyk, to lower the body, keep around the corner. I mean, it was some good that AJ did. They were, the first fight was wider than the scores indicated. The second fight, I thought AJ fought a lot better, but I just didn't think he would be that destroyer again. I just never thought he would believe in his power like that again. And it's like, do you credit the 4-day darkness, isolation retreat that he went on before the Otto Wallin fight in December? It completely changes him? I don't know. I mean, he's different now. He's been real different ever since the meltdown in the second Usyk fight. Obviously, AJ's different goes all the way back to the Ruiz fight, like I mentioned, but man, those last few fights before the Wallin one, it's like AJ just looked like he didn't know his own identity. He didn't know who he is or who he was supposed to be, and the pressure of being the golden boy for so long. Not the De La Hoya, but the 2012 Olympic gold medalist who, by winning that, ignited a boxing fervor in the UK that is just still on fire today. I mean, Amir Khan gets a lot of credit too, but I mean, Joshua was their guy. It still is. But what he's doing right now, even against Ngannou with the limited ability, I mean, this is like, like Holyfield. Like, this is what, the greats do. I mean, it's hard to compare guys in different eras and different times and different sizes, right? It's always going to be hard to do. But like, you can only fight who's in their era. Now, I believe that up to a certain extent. I thought for some people. Yeah, we're almost overvaluing the run calling up all those title defenses, but doing it in the most boring and safe manner by the second half of his career, and just being in an era devoid of danger once he put it together finally. And it's a credit to him for longevity for sure. But would he have held the belt that long even in this era? No, he wouldn't have. And what AJ's doing to reinvent himself is incredible. He's already a two-time champion. And even though they went ham on the hyperbole after the promoter Eddie Hearn from the standpoint of like, this is the best heavyweight in the world, the most dangerous now. I mean, even though that's hyperbole, because he just lost twice to Usyk, who's going to be in the Undisputed Clash. And I get, and I don't blame him, he's a promoter. Eddie Hearn used to say, we hope Usyk goes out there and beats that guy, Usyk. Well, yeah, because he's not lying when he says Fury Joshua could be one of the biggest fights ever. I'm saying it's going to be the biggest fight of all time. I don't know. So it'll be massive. I mean, AJ doing 80,000, 90,000 soccer stadiums. Whether it's in Jerry World, soccer stadium in the UK, soccer stadium $2 billion, or on the helipad. I mean, it's a monster fight with their personalities and they hit the but it's actually great for boxing and heavyweight boxing that AJ was able to come back around. Did not think it was possible 3 fights ago. Really didn't. He was still young enough, right? He's only, 33, 34. He had become it seemed he had become an offense. Once you start changing trainers on a regular, with each performance, you're not making the positive enough changes to your game while you're changing trainers. It felt like a constant disconnect. Well, whatever he's doing, even though he's still producing cringe post-fight interviews in which sometimes it looks like he's trying to be funny or trying to be hip and cool in ways that he maybe isn't, I'm not going to make fun of him. Because I want my heavyweight champions to be like that. I want them to believe in their power. I want them to be gunslingers. I want them to do exactly what he did to him. And in some ways, you can always argue that was the best strategy. Because, this is the point I was trying to get to about Ngannou's chin is we overvalued it a lot of ways because we couldn't be so superhuman. His story to get here is superhuman. It's incredible. His life story. But he's human. And if you're going to get a Joshua that's going to run after that, run into that, make that uncomfortable. Fury looked disinterested early, but like I mentioned, when he finally got touched by Ngannou, like this guy not only hits his legs that he does with both hands, but he can find a way to get it to me faster and more technical than I thought he could. And it's not perfectly technical, and those gaps again are exposed here in this matchup. But AJ going after him like he did, did he really go after him? I mean, he went after him when he had him hurt. But I think it is that mistake of turning southpaw that was the beginning of the end. It felt like the mistake Weidman made against Rocco to lose the title. It felt like the mistake Chael Sonnen made in the second Anderson Silva fight. Stephan Bonner made in the Anderson Silva fight too. it felt like one of those mistakes that will come back. To his credit, Ngannou, who's got such an incredible will, he was able to get up from the first two knockdowns. The second one in that second round, but that first knockdown in the second round was absolutely good to the side of the ear. That's one of those equilibrium ones that just leaves you a mess. But when Ngannou got up from that second knockdown, the first one in the second round, the finishing shot, oh my God. I mean, if those announcers say that might be the most brutal right hand knockout shot I've seen live ever. I mean, you're hard pressed when you watch that in slow motion and when you know the chin of Ngannou. You'd be hard pressed to say you've ever seen one that violent in a fight like this. I mean, you have, obviously. I mean, God. That's Marquez for anybody, right? I mean, good look. But, you know, Pacquiao also leaped into that incredibly recklessly and irresponsibly because he was so caught up in the moment there at the end of the round. But, I mean, that's cross. You had hurt Ngannou, got up, you know, equilibrium damage. It happened so fast before he could even get his full guard up. That was just... Damn, I was on HQ, just CBS Sports HQ just now with Thomas Live, and you know, he really, you know, I'm the one afterwards just trying to finish the match, and go, okay, I know Ngannou just got derailed, but like, against Deontay Wilder, it still kind of makes sense, right? It's big money, somebody's getting knocked out, it's the two biggest punchers in combat sports history, and Deontay Wilder just looked in December against Joseph Parker like he shouldn't even be in the ring anymore. That's the carny mind of my pro wrestling matchmaking part. But what Luke said is the reality of the severity of a knockout like that is massive. I mean, he was knocked the hell out. They didn't show the replay for a long time for a reason. They had to kind of revive him with the oxygen. It was tough to see. Knowing Francis' story, it was hard not to cheer for him from a sporting standpoint, from a human interest standpoint. And he's not dead, but you wonder what this does to the psyche. Now, he's got a psyche and a will and an ability to rebound in ways that, like, regular humans are never going to understand, right? But still, there's a tax to pay for a loss like this. And sometimes it is to make you a little bit gun-shy. I mean, he was maybe a little bit too confident in the first round. Maybe Todd Grisham was right, you know? Too confident to switch and kind of leave himself open. But the errors he made in round two that set up these two big shots, they were him lunging, leaning, really just trying to shake the cobwebs, regain himself, but in his attempts to do that, just slightly off the beat. And if you're slightly off the beat against somebody like AJ, who does have, really good technique, again, he's not going to outbox Fury or Usyk, and that was a tough pill for him to swallow twice against Usyk. But
that scheme is a
the most powerful tool that you have right now in your life, in your body, is your mind. That's why the enemy fights you in your mind. The devil doesn't have to tie you up for you to be bound. He just has to tie up your head. With stress, with worry, with aggravation, with low self-esteem, with pettiness. The most powerful tool that you have right now in your life, in your body, is your mind. That's why the enemy fights you in your mind. The devil doesn't have to tie you up for you to be bound. He just has to tie up your head. With stress, with worry, with aggravation, with low self-esteem, with bitterness, with anger, with rebellion, he can make you physically sick because put your hands on your head and say, give me a new mind. Give me a new mind, give me a new perspective, give me a new way of looking at my situation. Give me a new way of looking at my circumstances. Get my mind ready for this year, because when I get this year, there's going to be blessings. There's going to be miracles. There's going to be opportunities. Oh, yes, there's going to be some struggles. There's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some tests. But even the struggles are an opportunity for me to show off the victory if my mind can handle the change.
You can take it, you can make it. You can take it, you can make it. Alright, you train, you fight. Way harder than those other guys, and you win. You get out from under them. You can take it, you can make it. You can do this. You just gotta believe you can.
There's some things I'm not taking with me in the new year. Everything that's inflexible, and everything that's not ready, everything that's backwards, and everything that's negative, and everything that's condescending, everything that's carnal, and everything that's holding me back. I refuse to take it over into another year. Wait another new year with an all. Don't push yourself around the comings and goings of this world. Your opinions and your attitudes around circumstances that you cannot change. To another year and waste another year with the old mentality while somebody's in the hospital begging God for the opportunity that you have right now. You are step into this moment. You decide to sacrifice finances, other people, and miracles around the other people, and take the you could have you get your money out. You get your job back. You get your career. You can get your health back. You can get your prosperity out. Your mind out. No devil ever gets you. No promise on to get you. Can stop you from being free. If you can get your mind out, grab yourself a chance to come out here first.
Fly rise, golden perfection like a ride of prize. Christina.
I will not make a major decision without prayer. I will not bring somebody into my life just because they please me. I'll submit myself, my destiny, my future over to you. You are my foundation. You are my rock. You are my fortress. You are my strength. You are my defense. Without you, I can do nothing. You are the substratum of every dream I have ever dreamed in my life, and I will take no promotion. You don't want me to have. I will accept no man. You don't want me to have. You owe him a level of commitment. You owe him a level of commitment. It's wrong for you to think that you're going to give an offering and God's going to bless a business you ain't committed to. Bless a marriage you ain't committed to. Bless you in school and you won't study. Bless you as a saint of God and you won't walk like a saint of God. Who do you think God is? Somebody playing in Vegas? God is not his slot machine. God is a guaranteed definite answer. The mighty God of your blessing. Let me tell you why you are not further. The second commitment is to family. And it's a very important commitment. Through the storm and the rain and the heartache and the pain and the disappointment, you have to believe in the we and the us and not the me and the you. Or you're not gonna make it. It's a commitment. It's not a feeling. You gotta come home when you're in love, and you gotta come home when you're not in love. Or you're not gonna make it. And stay there until the love comes back. It's a commitment. Y'all don't want to hear real truth. You want to hear fairy tale Hollywood. Shake it, but in reality, it's a commitment. Commitment to your dream. You cannot get people to believe in your dream until you believe in it yourself. Stop asking people to invest in things when you have no investment. Stop asking people to deliver something to you where you're not willing to go to the wall for yourself. If you don't learn to give, you learn to get every area that there is not reciprocity, it's reciprocity. What do you give for what you get? Committed, you're not going to make it. Even when with the personalities, you have to be committed. Through the rain and the heartache and the pain and the disappointment, you have to believe in the we and the us, the me and the you. Or you're not going to make it. It's not a feeling. Until you have to take it, finish it. You will not. Until you follow through until something is done, called hell out the water. Tears and struggles and pain, and you go through it and you show up and continue to fight on no matter the circumstances. Anytime you need something that you can't get, you're at the mercy of somebody else, and when they don't come through, you got pain. And what you become is the consequences of what you did. It's an urge. It's an urge. Truth be told, every president has felt it. Every king has felt it. Every lion has felt it. Every winner has felt it. Every soldier has felt it. Every victorious person has felt it. The urge. Don't you put it on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money. You don't have the help. And you don't have a family for it. You don't have a background for it. You don't have friends for it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. You may take this long. You may have forces and business. You may not be you do make a difference. As we as parents grow, as mistakes you make, you do make a difference. There is something they would lose if you were not there. There was something that they would miss if you were not there. You do make a difference. It is not the movement of the clock that produces the newness of life. It is the movement in your mind. the things said about you. Throw it behind you. The enemies that you see today, you will see them no more. No weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. Every tongue that rises against you will condemn. Everybody in here is you don't have to be ashamed of yours. You're all transformed to a higher expression. Better expression of myself. Don't let the habits of my past stop me from this metamorphosis. New year, new me. New year, new me. What separates us is transformation. The possibility of change. The desire to evolve. The passion to get up off the ground and stop eating dirt. I'm tired of doing what I used to do. If I was doing what I've always done, I'll always be where I've always been. Somebody in this room that nobody would think would be in the church tonight, but you drew them to this place tonight. Because you want them to be a new me and a new year and have a new attitude and a new mind.
Giants won.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Brown.
Boy, look.
Man, get it in, huh?
Man, I was going cool at first. If you go tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, the motivation got me juice.
Hell
You
yeah.
can't digest your
Right now.
food because of it. Smiling in front of people and nobody knows that there's gunfire.
No, I was working on
in your
speed.
head.
I was doing a power shot.
Yeah.
I was working on form and speed and style. Like it's that heater. You do the ring
shots, huh?
like this.
It's not right.
It's like
It's
this.
not
I do that.
That's not the battleground.
Like Roy Jones do it. I mean, split.
What people say
Throw it.
because of this. What they say about you that
Nice.
Fire in the side. You know,
It is
that's
what
you
you
it's
say
like an image of a
about
gun, but it's not supposed to be a
that
gun.
threatens
You
your
know what I'm saying?
destiny.
It's like, you know, like
You
Roy
will
Jones did
never
it.
be
With
defeated.
a fire. He
What
always
they
take a reach.
say about
Yeah.
He said this, like this.
you will be defeated by what you say.
Fire in the side. You get it?
Yeah.
Now, dog, I
That's
remember
dope. That's dope.
Roy Jones is a bad motherfucker, boy. Just got old.
Yeah.
Like
Witness in
Tyson.
you and to the dream
Right.
that you showed up on the planet
Right.
to produce.
I say hella funny text. Wait